Hello, everybody. This is Matt, and we're back again with another movies, music, and middle-aged podcast. This is episode number four. Say hi,
Number
Jordan.
four. Hello, everybody. Today's episode brought to you by this new non-caloric silicone-based kitchen lubricant that I just
Yes.
had lying around.
Yeah,
Might
he's
use
just
it
been
for
working
sledding later.
for sledding. So, yeah, it's a little hint, as always, like we like to do here. We are actually trying to get in the holiday season here. It's almost Christmas. It's officially December 1st. We're recording this. We're going to be talking this week about well, I was going to call it Christmas Vacation, but it's technically National
Ash,
Lampoon's
yes,
Christmas Vacation.
yes. You,
The
you can't leave that part out. It's not Animal House. It's National Lampoon's Animal House. It's National
National Lampoon's
Lampoon's
Animal.
Christmas
Yes,
Vacation.
we
But
already talked about.
trivia. Does anyone know what National Lampoon is that was born in the last 25 years?
I believe it was a Harvard magazine, college newspaper, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah, but ask an 18-year-old.
Well, you never know. There's somebody, maybe somebody at Harvard, but other than that, but yeah. So we are going to be talking about Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Came out in 1989, and we're going to actually mix up the format here a little bit this week. So what we're doing this week, the last few episodes, we've been doing basically talking about movies that Jordan and I had seen growing up, movies that were kind of formative, right, for our taste in movies, right, or nostalgia, things like that. What we're doing this week is we picked a movie that I have actually seen many, many times, and Jordan has never seen, right? So we're calling this new to me, right? So it's obviously an old movie in general, right? But it's new to Jordan. Jordan
Yes.
had never seen his movie up until last week. So we're going to basically do a little bit of comparison between, somebody who's seen it 20 times versus somebody who's just seen it once for the first time.
I have only been celebrating Christmas for about 22 years now. If anyone wants to figure out the math on that one, I was not born into the Christmas holiday. Rather, I married into it. So,
Yes.
so I've been celebrating. I like to always say that I am, however many years I've been celebrating, that's how old I am in terms of Christmas. So
In Christmas.
I was like
Jordan
30
is
years
a
old, and I was like, "Yay,
so
Christmas!"
would you be a Christmas Gen Z, I guess?
I guess. I mean, my body doesn't feel like it. Uh, and I was up on a ladder this weekend putting lights on, so I
That's
don't know how many
funny.
Gen
That's
Zs are
funny.
throwing lights up on the house, but maybe they are.
So
Don't want to say they're not.
So this week, like I said, that's sort of the premise, right? I've seen the movie many times. Jordan hasn't. I'm gonna do a little background here, just a little bit background, talk about the movie, right? For maybe some people who aren't as familiar with it, right? It was a smaller movie, $25 million budget, written and produced. Actually, interesting fact, written and produced, co-produced, sorry, by John Hughes, which I feel like I knew, but maybe I forgot. I find it funny because he must have a thing for Christmas movies because he
He's made
did
a
this in
few movies.
1989. Yeah, Christmas Vacation 1989. And then he did some other indie Christmas film that came out in
Yeah.
1990. What was that one?
I don't know. The young upstart Joe Pesci was in that one.
Yeah. Joe Joe Pesci and the guy from City Slickers
And a
and One
pretty
Vacation.
unknown Catherine O'Hara. I think that was one of her
Yes.
first roles.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
John
did.
Hughes only does movies also in Chicago. He refuses
That
to
is
leave the
actually true.
state.
That is actually
Just
true.
like Stephen King refuses to write about anything other than the New England area. So
You stick to what
he's
you know, I suppose.
he's never been south of Connecticut. That's a little fact there. Stephen King, never south of
I did.
Connecticut.
I didn't know that, but I
I
found
made
it
that up.
interesting that
I made that
all right,
completely
never
up. That was
mind,
100%.
never mind. See, you had me, you had me. Told that to somebody
Yes.
tomorrow, next tomorrow, and they would have believed me. Right, so I just find it interesting, right? He did this in 1989, Home Alone next year. Obviously, had a thing for Christmas movies. And this is for people who don't know. Most of you probably do. This is the third movie in the original quote vacation series, right? There was National Lampoon's Vacation, period, where they went to Europe. I'm sorry, no, sorry, where they went to Wally World, excuse me. Then the second one was European Vacation, where they went to Europe. And then this is considered the third movie in the series. There's actually a fourth movie, Vegas Vacation, but this is the third movie in the vacation series. It made $11 million dollars its first week, and sort of like Batman, we talked about a few weeks ago, or not Batman, sorry, UHF, we talked about a few weeks ago. It was out at the same time as Back to the Future 2, so it, probably did not have an easy time making some money, but it eventually made $71 million in the US. So it was pretty against its budget, right? It almost, made,
And now it
$50
has a
million
cult
dollars.
following. I mean,
It does.
around
It
this
does.
time
I
of
don't think it was a
year,
big hit.
around this time of year, this is one of the movies I've always been nervous to tell people I hadn't seen. But then I always fell back on the whole, well, I was born Jewish thing. And they were like,
Yes,
oh, okay, well, that makes sense then.
that makes
So,
sense. Why would you watch this?
yeah, I
But I also found it interesting that this is the second week in a row we're talking about a movie. Last week was UHF with a future Seinfeld actor, right? Last week,
ah,
UHF, Michael Richards ended up in Seinfeld. This week, Julia Louis-Dreyfus,
we did not
another
do this on
future Seinfeld
purpose.
actor. No, we did not.
So
We did not. Total coincidence. Two
I need
back-to-back
to find
weeks with,
some old Jason Alexander movies so we can do it one for next week.
I think Pretty Woman is the only one I can think of. But yeah, Julia Louis-Dreyfus that plays Margot in this movie. But yes, I just found it interesting. And another not my favorite show, but equally successful financially, right? And longevity wise, another future sitcom star, Johnny Galecki,
Oh,
who
yes,
played,
yeah, The
who
Big
played
Bang
Rusty in
Theory.
this movie. Yes. So we're just watching a lot of movies with future, very successful, very rich
And
sitcom
Roseanne.
actors.
He was in Roseanne as well.
Yes, 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 true. But yeah, but he didn't have a main part in that movie. But
Yeah,
and
okay,
then
fair enough.
the only other famous-ish person really, I'm sorry, Juliet
Juliette
Lewis, who
Lewis,
was
yeah.
not really a star at that point, or at least as big as she was later. So, but yeah, well, did you notice? Have you actually? Let me ask. Have you seen the other vacation movies before this
No,
one?
but I do know that they changed the kids in every single movie.
That was the next thing on my list. You didn't
Yeah,
know
I
that?
do.
Okay.
Yes, I knew they changed the kids in every movie. I don't know why they changed the kids in every movie. I think it'd be great if they made a joke each time. It's like, wow, you're getting old. Look at you. I barely recognize you. And
I,
maybe they do.
I'm,
Uh, but yeah, I knew that they changed the kids in every movie. I never was a Chevy Chase guy. I think and maybe I'm wrong. I feel like you had to pick at some point in your formative years whether you were going to be a Bill Murray or a Chevy Chase guy, and I just was a Bill Murray guy. I don't. Maybe you could be both. I don't know.
You can be both. I like both. I mean, if I had to pick, the old quote "gun to the head," I would pick Bill Murray, but and he's still probably definitely my favorite out of the two. But I like Chevy Chase. I mean, I don't think to be fair to Chevy Chase, I don't think his
I mean,
body
he
of
had the
work.
greatest talk show that's ever. I mean, it's right up there with Magic Johnson's talk show. So just seminal
Chevy
talk shows.
Chase, Chevy Chase, all of, I think it only made it 2 weeks. Yes, the Chevy Chase show. Wow, I did not think we were going to touch upon that. If I had to guess, if they did it one time, I would say maybe they just couldn't get the people back or they get older. But the fact that they do it, they change the kids, the actors who play the kids every movie. I would have to guess, who knows for sure, but I would have to guess it was done on purpose, right? Hey, this would be funny. Let's just do it as sort of a running gag. But that's hilarious that you brought that up because that was the
But
next
the
thing on
kids are
my list.
secondary characters, and that's one of the things I
Yes,
quickly noticed. Which
yes.
which it got me, I guess, and this again is the the new to me type of thing. It made me wonder what the allure was of this movie for a younger crowd. Now I could understand. I'm watching it and I'm thinking, well, he's trying to make a great Christmas for his family. He's trying to do what he can do. He's getting shit at work, whatever. He's trying to put the lights up. Like I said, I did that this weekend. I get all that stuff, but it's like, who's watching that at 10 and going, ha 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 ha. I guess shitter's full. That's funny. But I didn't understand. Oh, look at them making fun of the yuppies. Like,
I
okay,
I think two things, right? I think one, with any Christmas movie, you kind of already have it's already sold, right? You don't really have to sell people on a Christmas movie, right? It's already sort of, all right, it's a Christmas movie. I want to see a Christmas movie, right? There's a whole channel, right? There's so many made for TV movies, right? There's already kind of built an audience for that. But I don't think this was really, I don't know, right? I mean, I saw it when I was younger, I didn't think about it, but I don't really think this was marketed at, I would have been 8 when this came out, 8 or 9, but I don't think this was really marketed for kids, right? It was
no.
probably, teens and Chevy Chase fans, right?
I feel like this was a movie that generations fell in love with because their parents watched, like, oh, I saw this. You'll love this.
Yes,
And they
growing up.
watched
Yeah,
it. And then it continues to just build and build and build. Because I'm
correct.
thinking to myself, I'm like, the jokes are just not but other than the gags, like the whole squirrel thing, that's slapstick, that's Looney
Yeah,
Tunes,
yeah,
which
yes,
totally
yes,
lost me in that part because I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's a
yes,
squirrel.
yes.
Um,
But again,
For
you're
my,
seeing it in your
but I'm
40s
seeing it as a
versus
four,
10.
as a yeah. So I mean, for me, one of my favorite things about this movie um, was the uncle and aunt, which back then, now you can't make fun of dementia now. I don't think we actually ever should have really made fun of dementia. But that being said, the aunt clearly has dementia, and it was hilarious. Um,
They want you to say the blessing.
and then, I pledge allegiance to the, and then Clark ending it with amen. Like it was just
Yes.
that was very that I loved.
That I can see kids laughing at that, right? That's one that so yeah. And that's another thing, right? So you obviously have a different perspective of it, but every single time I watch a movie that I haven't seen in a while that I did see when I was a kid, same thing, right? Same thing always applies. Am I going to find this funny watching it again after 15 years or so or whatever, right? As I did now. Some that still made me laugh, right? I mean, maybe I'm a 10-year-old, maybe it's just nostalgia, but I
The
still found
squirrel?
that whole well, no, not the squirrel. The
Oh,
squirrel was whatever. The squirrel was no, but the whole bit with the aunt and uncle, right? He has
oh no,
toupee
that's
getting
hilarious.
catching fire, the tree goes up in flames. She wraps the
Yeah.
cat
Yes.
as a
No,
gift,
that I
and it's
that I
shaking.
liked. I loved all that. That was
So
really funny.
let me ask you, do you think, and this is a hypothetical question, there's no real right or wrong answer. Does this movie take place in the same cinematic universe as Home Alone or Ferris Bueller, Uncle Buck?
I feel like they all do. Uh,
Yeah.
like I feel like the same thing with the John. This might even take place. You could probably argue that it takes place in the same John Hughes universe as well.
Yeah,
I feel
I would
like
agree.
all those movies of that time, of the 80s, it wouldn't surprise me if, Clark got hit in the back of his car and it was John Bender driving and he drove away. Like that would just be like, yeah, obviously.
He's like this. 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't see me.
I got you
I'm
I got
doing
you for 2 months.
yeah,
Two
2 months.
months.
Was it 2 months? 2 months? Two
Yeah,
months.
two months.
I'm doing the
You
principal
mess with
from
the
Breakfast
bull,
Club.
you get the horns.
Yeah, I would assume so. I would assume so. And just a couple observations. I want to let you talk more than me, right? Because you've never saw it before. But I did find it funny, maybe because I'm an old man and I'm a parent now. The kids are not wearing seatbelts in the first scene.
I
Uh,
That was my now we don't have video yet because I don't want people to see me on YouTube, but that was my first note on my notepad was if only the kids wore seatbelts is what I
yes,
wrote.
yes. But then it would not be funny though. Uh, well, let me ask you. Let me ask you. Let me kick it off this way. I had some notes, but I want to kick it off to you. Maybe I'll react to you instead. What were your you know credits come on, movie starts, right? You don't know what to expect. But after kind of what were your kind of thoughts 10, 15 minutes in? When did you start to get a feel for where this movie was going?
I think I realized it was slapstick fairly early on when he changes lane to be underneath that 18 wheeler semi truck. He's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm thinking to myself, just change lanes,
Just turn, just turn.
just get out
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that situation. Driving over the snowbank and landing perfectly in a parking spot. I'm like, okay, this is a slapsticky movie, and much in the same vein as Home Alone, because 90% of those traps would have murdered
Yes.
those two
The
men. So
whole last 45 minutes of that movie are slapstick, basically. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, so once I saw that, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be, it's slap, and it is. The uncle gets shot, blows up near
Oh, by
he's
the
smoking a
tree.
cigar and
Yeah.
it blows up. No, not even by the tree. When he's outside, just before
Oh, at the
Santa
end.
Claus
Yes,
gets
yes, yes,
sent
yes, yes,
into
yes,
orbit,
yes. The
and
very,
he
very end.
flies across the lawn and lands. He's okay. You know,
He's okay.
he's
So
up.
he's
He's
okay.
okay. He's she's
Now
okay.
we're switching to Wayne's World. She's all right. We should do that actually. Had you seen any clips of this at all, even in passing? Or, I mean, or did you have
Oh,
truly
it is
zero?
impossible. No, no. Listen, it is impossible to have lived over 4 decades and not have seen run into at some point
That's what I figured. Okay.
this movie. Now I didn't know necessarily the significance of like I've obviously seen the Moose eggnog cups.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Everyone's seen Shitters Full or heard that. Um, I've seen the people wearing the Black Hawk jerseys that say Griswold on the
Yes,
back.
Griswold, Griswold.
Um, so yeah, but I haven't sat down and ever really said, okay, I'm gonna watch this movie. It just
Did-
didn't. And I've seen other Christmas movies, but I haven't seen a lot, to be honest. The one movie I've seen more than any of them is A Christmas Story. I don't know what it was, but that one just got me. I watch it. Also one of those TV shows, was it TNT or TBS, plays it for like
Yeah, TBS,
48
TBS. Yeah,
hours.
24
Um,
hour, yeah, 48 hours on Christmas Eve, Christmas
yeah,
Day. What
but
did
yeah, this one
you think about the yuppie neighbors, Margot and
I
Todd? Did you find he looks like
I
Patrick Bateman, by the way, which I found interesting.
I don't know why they hate them so much.
Why,
Other than the
wait, wait,
fact that
wait.
they're
Why the
yuppies.
Griswolds hate
Yeah,
them
why the
or why?
Griswold Clark clearly hates them, and they're the butt of most of the jokes. Well, not most of, they're a lot of the butt of the jokes. And I actually wrote down, I'm like, uh, that yuppie couple did not deserve all that, is one of my
No,
notes.
agreed, agreed. They actually have when we get to the end, my favorite line. Those two have my favorite line. I won't do it yet because I don't want to spoil it, but they have my favorite. But I mean, I didn't know if you found that funny.
I
Like I said, seeing it as
I
a,
loved the when they're asking, the only line of theirs that I enjoyed, other than being like, well, this is just mean to them, is when they ask where he's going to fit that tree, and he goes, bend over and I'll show you.
Yeah, I wasn't talking to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, with his chainsaw.
Might have been my favorite line. I think what really worked is even when Clark is saying really shitty things like that, you're like, his delivery, like, that's funny.
Of
Like,
course. Yeah,
that's good. Now, it's
that's
not,
that's Chevy Chase's whole persona, though, right?
well, yes.
He's told that line between
Well, ask the
you want
cast
to
of
laugh at him, but
Community.
he's yes. Well, yeah, wow, that's because he was this, 75-year-old man. But yeah, he always kind of walked that line of, you could easily hate him as much as you find him, I want to hang out with this guy, basically, right?
Yes,
He's
yeah.
hilarious.
But yeah, that
Uh,
was, I mean, I didn't understand too much of why the yuppie, other than the fact that I know, being of that age, that yuppies were a butt of many 80s jokes. Um,
well,
so
people watch him now. I was curious if you're one of those people now who watch it. I knew you weren't, right? But I'm kidding. But people watch it now and they don't realize the yuppies are the joke. They think, oh, that's who I want to be. I want to be the 80s
yeah,
yuppie.
yeah,
It's like,
those
no, you're
look at
not
those
supposed to want to be them.
acid wash jeans. I want to be like those guys.
Patrick Bateman is
Pop,
my idol. I
pop,
think you
pop.
cut out for a second.
Oh
You still
yeah, I was
there?
gonna
There
say,
he is.
you don't want to pop the collar of any of your polo shirts.
No, no, no,
That's
no.
not the cool thing there.
Unless it's
Um,
in an ironic kind of way. I did love the scene. I just wrote down some random scenes that I like. I did love the scene. I mean, again, I guess it's kind of slapstick, right? I love the scene where right after they get the tree and Clark's in bed with Ellen, his wife, and they open the tree. He's got sap on his hands. And he's trying to read the magazine, and he keeps
yes, and
just.
which I was watching that and I'm like, this scene is lost on anyone introduced to this movie who isn't of a certain age. Like, that's
Or
number
never got a
one.
real tree. Or never got a real
Or
tree. Got a
never got a
fake
real
tree.
tree, or you know, who reads magazines nowadays?
Oh yes, yes, yes. That's true. That is
I,
true. With the
I
little
mean,
inserts.
yeah, the little inserts falling out of your mag, like, that doesn't happen anymore. Uh, I mean, maybe
No.
now it's like, oh, you know what? Oh, the L key got sticky because of the sap on my finger, like that, because I'm
Yes.
watching it on my laptop or something. But you're not reading magazines anymore.
No, no, I thought that was funny. And I did love the line when he's talking to his coworker, talk about their bonus, right, of the year, and he says what was the award he won? The food additive designer of the year. I don't know why. That
Yes,
was
yeah.
it's a throwaway line. It's just it's nonsense, right? But it's just kind of a
And
super
I did love when he was there and he was saying, he was talking to his boss, and then all the yes men walked by, and he's like, "Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas." Oh, fuck you.
kiss my
Go fuck
ass.
yourself. Kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Happy
Kiss
Hanukkah.
my ass. Yes. He's like, hi, 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 kiss my ass.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. That was Brian Doyle Murray. Yes, Brian Doyle Murray was in this movie. Bill Murray's brother, right? To bring it back to the Murray family. And I mean, well, now you could probably relate to this, right? But I definitely as a kid, I can relate to the whole bit where Clark or Chevy Chase, right, is doing the untangling the Christmas lights, right? That back in the
I
day, if
did
one
that.
bulb went out, yeah.
I listen, I know we're generally always pressed for time on this podcast, but I did start hanging up lights only to find out that half of them weren't working. I had to get back off the ladder, take them out, go to run to the store, buy new lights, get back on the ladder. So yeah, untangling the lights, definitely something I can relate to. Uh,
And also you can relate to when the whole family shows up and you just start having a panic attack because you realize you're now trapped
Oh
with
God.
all your relatives in one. I think that that doesn't matter if you're celebrate Christmas, don't celebrate Christmas. That's kind of a universal
If any of my
a theme.
relatives are listening to this, no,
Yes.
I can't relate to this at all. I don't know what Matt's talking about.
Yeah.
Uh,
Jordan.
please don't listen to him.
Yes,
This is
Jordan
only for the pod.
actually wants if you want to move in, yeah, this is just an axe. Jordan doesn't really believe this. I don't really believe this either. But uh yeah, and it's funny because I will say another thing, right? Another thing that I thought was funny is that as a kid watching it, um, I thought it was funny. He's hanging off the gutters, right? He's ruining the house. He's stapling stuff. He's falling down, right? Oh, this is hilarious. Now I was watching this, and all I could think about, oh, he's got to fix the gutter. That's gonna be expensive. He's gonna have to.
Yes.
I'm thinking this is not funny anymore. He's just ruining his house. This is
Yeah.
one more thing to fix. This is
I've had to fix a
expensive.
gutter, got all iced up, broke off. That's not funny at all.
That's not funny. That's not hilarious at all. That did not hold up. It gave me anxiety. I was stressed out. I don't, how's he going to find a contractor in the minute right before Christmas?
No, and then he
Uh,
ruins one of his Christmas decorations, the Santa Claus. I understand he gets upset, but that costs money. That's going to take you back too. I mean, come on. Just
and I was going to ask you, and you kind of touched on it, right? But so you never did you do any kind of lights? I know you didn't celebrate Christmas, but did you do any kind of lights when you were a kid? Any kind of like
unless you count the
holiday light?
menorah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I figured no, but that was, yeah, we did it every year. I could definitely tell you from firsthand experience, the whole, like I said, troubleshooting Christmas lights, that was 100% accurate. That was accurate. We did it every year.
Helping the old man get the Christmas lights up. He's like,
Standing at the base of the ladder. That is 100% accurate. That is
yeah,
accurate.
that I couldn't that didn't resonate. Just me being the one up there resonated, but not
The
me. There was no nostalgia factor of holding the ladder for dad.
yes,
So
that was not exaggerated. Is the point is the point that I'm making. That was a
that
real thing. That you might look at that and think, oh, did people really do it? Yes, people really did that. People really spent their whole Saturday untangling lights, troubleshooting, standing at the base of the ladder, and then okay, your dad has to get down off the ladder, move it 6 inches to the right, climb back up the ladder. Yeah, it took forever. It was fun when it was done. Oh, look at the lights, but it was horrible. It was a horrible
yeah,
experience doing
yeah.
it. Doing it was
The
horrible. Looking at it was fun.
Yes, I could only relate to that as the person climbing up the ladder, coming back down, moving it 6 inches, going back up the ladder. At least I'm doing something. I'm not watching as it
Yes,
happens. At least
you're
I have
actively
control over it. I'm actually engaging in it.
you're
Um,
actively engaged. I it also occurred to me that when Clark goes into the attic, John Hughes, again with the Christmas movie, he has some kind of attic fetish. Did you notice that?
yeah, like what
Well,
just getting
Home
stuff.
Alone, Kevin was
Well,
in the
yeah, but
attic,
like
right?
yes, but like what? Yeah, that whole scene was like it was another one of those like this is a kind of ridiculous. Like why is he sitting? Why is he using the ladder as a seat? At some point you assume someone's going to help you get out. Like you've
Yes,
completely set yourself up. There's a whole attic. You've already shown it because you've walked around the
right.
attic. You looked at in things. You dressed yourself up as an old lady. You're watching home movies. Again, nothing that I could actually. Maybe I lost a little something because I can't really relate to the idea of watching home videos of Christmases past where I'm young. Like I could watch old
Yes,
videos on my phone of my children when they were
yes.
young,
No
but
Super 8 videos, no
no Super 8 videos. No, nothing like that.
that was a
But
thing. That was a thing too. We had that. I mean, obviously not me, right? But we silent Super 8 videos of, my family's, my mom or my dad's Christmas or something, right? But we definitely ended up in the attic. But yeah, I said John Hughes has an attic fetish the way Quentin Tarantino has a feet fetish.
oh,
That was my
it's
that
that
was my
severe. Good God.
I think so. I mean, can you think, was there any other sorry, was there any other
The answer is
John
no to
Hughes
that question
movie
that
with
you're
an
about to
attic?
say. No, he must love it's an old I guess it's an old house type of
Yeah,
the attic
probably.
always
Yeah, yeah.
holds like I
Some
think a lot of
ooh, it's
movies actually,
mysterious.
you know, there's other I mean, you said attic, I'm like, oh, Goonies. Like for some reason the attic always is a place where like treasures are and it but I mean in
Or the
Home Alone
basement.
the attic, yeah, well, the
Well, there was
basement is where you
the
keep the
furnace,
bodies.
in
Oh,
Home Alone,
this yeah,
right?
this.
Oh, the
scary.
furnace is yeah, yeah. It's always the ooh, don't go up there, don't go down there.
And maybe it's the kind of thing of seeing it from a kid's point of view. The attic, the basement, there's always like the parents' domain. The kids aren't going up in the attic. Dad's going up in the attic. Dad's gonna go down to the basement. That's why he's afraid of the furnace. That's why, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just an old 80s,
It
70s,
probably
80s
is. Just like we
thing.
talked about last week, the dog, dog running through the door, right? That kind of thing, right? The 80s movies. They always had a dog busting through a door for some reason. But did
which
you
which happens sort of in this movie where the squirrel comes up and knocks Julia Louis-Dreyfus on the ground, and the dog at
yes,
the end
yes,
of the
there's always a
squirrel
dog.
chase scene. Yes.
There, 80s movies had a lot of Turner and Hooch. What was the one? Oh, K9. K9, what was the one with John Belushi? And then there's
Oh,
Turner and Hooch. Big dogs just
they're gonna say
ruining things.
Cujo. Like that wasn't a very family.
That was that was not a yeah, I don't know. That was like
Oh, he
the
got
gritty
shaving cream on his face. It's okay. He's fine. Just wipe it
shaving cream.
off.
I think I don't know what your actually let me ask you, what was one of your favorite did you have I mean, obviously you only seen it one time, but what scene that
Uh,
you made you kind of laugh the most? I can tell you mine after yours, but I'm curious what yours was.
huh. Um, I think. Oh man, what made me laugh the most? Oh, I could tell you what
Was
made
it?
me laugh. You know what? I think it was them. I think it was as he slowly lost his mind during Christmas
Yes.
Eve
When he
dinner.
finds out he didn't get a bonus?
He didn't get a bonus. His in-laws for some reason hate him, which is another trope of 80s movies.
Yes,
The in-laws
yes.
always
Well,
hate
that's
hate
still a
you.
trope. That's just a trope in general.
Wow, not my in-laws. They love me. But anyway, um, but the in-laws are snotty. He's losing his mind. The aunt's sitting there doing the Pledge of Allegiance. It just
Yes.
continually builds and builds and builds and builds until he loses his mind. And I found that funny. Also, I like the scene where he's drinking eggnog with Eddie, and he's like, "Oh, I could leave you leave you for dead in the woods somewhere." I thought that was funny. I could tell you what my least favorite.
He's, what was the least favorite? That's
My
just as
least
good to me.
My least favorite was I don't even know why it existed, scene of him at I guess the knockoff Macy's or whatever it's supposed to be.
Oh,
And
the
he
very,
starts
very beginning.
ogling at the woman. I'm like, what was the point of that other than the fact that 80s movies had a boob quota?
Well, so they had that was a it's funny you bring this up. I didn't have it in my notes, but I did think about that. That was kind of a running gag, right? There was the one vacation,
Was
right, with
was
Christy
Christy
Brinkley.
Brinkley? Yep.
I think, right? I think it was a little bit of what you said, right? Hey, we need a chick in there. It's an 80s movie, right? But I do think they were trying to keep that thread of, oh, he's got a girl that's, tempting him, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Where he's got that would be my guess. So if I'm being fair, and I really do think I'm probably on the right page with that they were probably just trying to keep that thread going. But my favorite scene, maybe you like it too, maybe you just forgot about it. I still think it's hilarious. When he's looking out the window at nighttime and he envisions the pool.
Yes. But then
Have
there
you
she is
seen
again.
that? Yes, but when she does this it gets me. It's hilarious. I love this part when she's kind of pointing at him and using her finger to like come outside, and he shakes his head no, and he kind of nudges his head to the left, like, oh, I would, but my wife's here. You know what I mean? I don't know why. It's that subtle like I can't come outside, and he just kind of like, oh,
I,
the old ball and chain is here. I'd come
I did
outside.
like that everyone was there in his envisioning of the pool.
Yes,
Everyone
Eddie.
showed up.
Eddie had his speedo
Speedo
on
on. Yeah, of
over
course.
his actually I don't know we'll call it a tank top because I don't think we're allowed to call it what people call it anymore.
Yeah, let's just say a tank top. That's
We'll
pretty
call it
good.
a tank top. Yes, we'll call it a tank top. But yes, yeah, you were talking about the scene where, yeah, well, the overall scene, right, where he gets his bonus, his quote unquote bonus is the check for the Jelly of the Month Club. And then yes, that's another good line where he says, "It's
You
good,
know,
it's good."
yeah, yeah. What is it? That's Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
Where are we gonna find a tree on Christmas Eve? And then just smashed through the window. We
Yes,
talked about
yes.
the tree. Yeah, we talked about the tree. I'm sorry, we talked about the squirrel and the tree. I did notice this. You probably didn't notice it. I never noticed this actually. This is a brand new thing. I noticed this for the first time, and I've probably seen this 15 times. There's a scene later in the movie where Chevy Chase goes into Brian Dole Murray, his boss. He goes into his boss's office, right? Brian Dole Murray. I don't remember what they were talking about, but he's has this huge
He's like in a meeting room.
conference table. Yeah, yeah, he's in a meeting room. It's got enough chairs, about 20 people. But do you notice he has about six sand timers on his
I didn't notice that. I
I
noticed the 100 presents that were put all the way at the end of the
okay.
same. Yeah, everyone's just giving him a present. Like, just leave it with the other
Oh
ones.
yeah. He plays Brian Bill Murray plays he's listen, I'll just say part of my French, but he's perfect at the asshole, right? The
Yes,
boss, the jerk. He
yes.
played that role to a T. But yeah, I have no idea, and I have to look it up. I don't know why he had and of all different sizes too. There was one about, 2 feet tall. There was one, about 6 inches tall. 5 or 6 random sand timers on his desk. I have no idea what that's about. That's got to be
Now I need
something.
to rewatch that because I did
Just
not
watch
notice
that
that at
scene.
all.
See if you can figure it out. Because
That's
I'll
it.
just talk to you offline because I have no idea what that's about. There's got to be some kind of gag there. But I wonder if you saw that. I guess you didn't notice it. But to be fair,
No,
like I said, I've seen it 15 times and I just noticed it for the first time about that scene. But we don't have too much more time here. Were there any of the scenes that stuck out as either being really, really, oh, that was not funny or
I
kind of made you laugh?
I mean I think I thought it was both funny and not funny. That the I guess it's now famous. I've seen dolls of it of him sledding down with
Okay, I've never
that
seen those.
nuts. That not, yeah, they have a doll of him actually on that sled thing, and I'm like, I was watching, you watch the scene, and he's going as fast as can be, right? He's passing all these trees, and everyone's looking like they could still see him, but
Can we talk about the fact that he's probably about 10 miles away from where he started?
yeah, he's clearly 10 miles away from restarting. He's passing woods and trees and everything else, and they're still looking like, oh, ooh, oh
Yeah.
man, oh, that hurts. And I'm like, there's no way you see him.
Yeah,
And so
that bothered me way more than it should have. It should have bothered me because the whole movie's ridiculous, like you said. But
yes,
I don't. Yeah, that and even when he's finished at the end, I think Eddie makes it look like, ooh,
yeah, but
he's
but
okay.
I but even and we mentioned it at the very beginning about the car, the very first scene about them going to get the Christmas tree. I completely related to the annoyance of the car up their butt and being like,
Yes, yes.
yeah, no, I'm not gonna let this guy win. Screw this guy. I'm
That's
gonna cut this guy
that's
off.
that is. I would say that's a timeless feeling.
Yes.
My wrap up. One of my wrap up questions. Got a couple more questions, but you only have a few minutes here. Uh, no judgment, right? What is your honest feedback? 4 stars. What is your give me your honest feedback?
Uh,
With the caveat, right? Of you're seeing it again as there's no nostalgia. You didn't grow up with those kind of movies. What is your again taking into account it's a goofy movie, but what is your honest feedback on the movie? What do you think of it?
honest feedback, I thought it was okay.
I agree.
Will I go to seek it out in its entirety again? Probably not. If it was on and there was nothing else to watch and I didn't feel like changing the channel, I could see myself watching it for a couple of minutes or whatever. Um, but I didn't feel like one of those can't wait to watch this again next Christmas. It just it didn't have that for me.
I like it. I do like it. I genuinely enjoy it. I think it's funny. It's definitely not, with that being said, and this is not a knock. It's not one of my favorite Christmas movies. I will watch, like I said, if it's on or with my kids, somebody, hey, you want to watch? Sure. Okay. I'm not against it, but it's not, my all-time. It's probably maybe in the top 10, but it's definitely not a top five Christmas movie at least. One thing, one last thing, kind of wrap up here. I did like how they kept the movie kind of true to real life a little bit. I know we said it was slapstick, but they did keep it true somewhere where this is definitely similar to real life where the boss decides to give the bonuses back. I thought that was a nice touch.
Oh yeah, that was very true to life. Um,
Yeah.
it's certainly
You know
not.
what? We were wrong. We're gonna give you
Yeah,
double
yeah.
20% more. That's happened to
That
me.
was.
I don't know if that's happened to you. That's happened to me many
I
times.
mean, I think that was the most fantastical bit of the whole movie. That was the part where they lost me. I'm like, you know what? This was 100% believable up to that point.
That's where it went wrong. I can deal with the sled being 10 miles away from where he started, but the bonus is where I draw the line.
I could
Uh,
deal with the boss not pressing charges after being kidnapped on Christmas Eve. That I believe. Deciding not to give the deciding to give the bonuses back. That
I
was
was
where they lost me.
I was trying to think of now what the police officer said when they found out he get the bonuses back. Did he say he would beat him with a fire hose or something? I can't remember what he said.
What he said, but he was like, they were all aghast.
Yes, 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 yes. Now they would say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But yeah, sorry. You probably didn't work hard enough to get a bonus. All right, so we'll wrap it up here. What, yeah, did you have, I think we talked about favorite scene. Did you have a favorite line? I think you said your favorite line of Todd and Margot. But did you have a favorite line or a favorite quick bit that you thought was funny? I can tell you mine
Um,
after.
really, I don't know if specific line, but really any conversation between the uncle and the aunt,
Yes.
when she was like, "You couldn't hear something through a nitroglycerin factory," like just
You get a glycerin
and.
plant.
And I don't remember, like, I've seen that guy in a bunch of stuff. I went in
Yeah, he's
IMDb
a
and I try to
character
find
actor.
him.
I
I'm
don't know
like,
his name, but I've seen
I
him in
go,
about 20 movies.
once I
Yeah.
heard his voice, I was like, oh, it's that guy. So
It's
anytime the
almost
two of
Gilbert
them,
Gottfried-esque, that voice.
yeah, every time the two of them were talking, I was like, I gotta listen to this because this is ridiculous. So really anything between the two of them. He wanted you to say Grace. Oh,
The
Grace has been
blessing.
great. Grace has died years
Grace,
ago.
Grace died 30 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, those are
Yes. I My favorite line, I was surprised you bring this up. I really thought you would because you have the same kind of sense of humor where he says, where she says, "Why is the carpet wet, Todd?" I don't know, Margot. I say
yes.
my wife and I do all the time. We're like, why, why are the kids at home? I don't know, Margot. But yeah, all right. Sorry.
Yeah,
So
that
we'll wrap it
was
up here. I'm glad that you got to watch it. Now your life has been changed forever. But all kidding aside, yes. So we're gonna wrap up here. We want to just, before we do wrap up, I usually do this at the beginning, but I'm gonna do it at the end here. Just want to thank everybody who has been listening, and for continuing
yes.
listening, for following us. So anybody out there who's new, anybody out there who's listening but hasn't followed, please follow us. Please like, subscribe.
We're
Again,
on
we're on
Threads,
YouTube.
we're on Instagram, YouTube,
Yes, YouTube,
Spotify, Apple.
Spotify,
I'm
Apple,
gonna
we're
try to
everywhere.
figure out how to get us on the TikTok.
The
Uh,
TikTok. The kids are on
the
the TikTok.
TikTok. The
Yes.
TikTok. They're doing the dancing and the singing on the TikTok.
We're very popular on MySpace, but yes, on the TikTok too. But yes,
Make us
please
one of your
follow.
top 5 friends on
Yeah, I
MySpace.
guess with in addition to Tom. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I had. And we just want to say thanks everybody for listening. And thanks Jordan, as always. I'm glad you
Oh,
you
thank
watched
you,
took the
Matt.
time to watch a movie. And we will see you guys next week.
Yeah. See you guys. Thanks.
Happy holidays.
Bye.